Greetings, everybody, and welcome to another exciting show of the Mr. Snap's Cooking Show. Today we're going to do another recipe from the Family Recipe video series. We're doing one from my grandmother, Patricia Wetzel. We always called her Mama. We're making her famous spinach dip today, and to do that, I have about 9 ounces of fresh spinach here, which I'm going to blanch and then dice up, chop up. I've got a cup of mayo, I've got a cup of sour cream, I have an onion, I have some water chestnuts, which we're going to chop up pretty good, and then the secret ingredient, and thanks to Knorr Vegetable Recipe Mix for sponsoring today's show. We really appreciate their sponsorship. We've got 3 teaspoons of the vegetable recipe mix from Knorr. It's a great company. If you ever get a chance, check them out. They're really quite delicious. You can do all kinds of stuff with this vegetable mix. My dog loves it as well. Everyone loves Knorr vegetable mix. It's very delicious. And well, look, we're gonna get to work here on our spinach here, and so stick with us. Hey, so we are, well, the deal is the original recipe, my mama's recipe, she called for a package of frozen spinach, but we're not going to do that here. We don't do that on the Mr. Snap's Cooking Show. We always bring you the freshest ingredients, all natural if possible. And so we've got our spinach here, but really what we need to do is we need to kind of, we're going to blanch it. And what that means is, if you can look over here, I've got a pot of boiling water here. I'm going to turn my fan on low here to kind of reduce some of that steam. And I've got a bowl here of ice water here, okay? And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of slowly add my spinach here. Slowly add it in. And what that's going to do is going to reduce its bitterness, for one. It's also going to make it a lot more vibrant as far as color is concerned. This is a technique that we can use to really, I don't want it to break down too much because I do want some body with it. But I'm just going to count about 30 seconds, really. I remember I used to make a lot of crudité platters at a place I used to work back in Michigan, and we would always blanch our vegetables first, you know. I don't think it really increases the crispiness of them at all, but it certainly increased the color level of them. And immediately you can even see, it's kind of hard in this light, really, but the green really pops, huh? So what I'm going to do here is like I said, we're burning through 9.9 ounces of the spinach here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, it's really, just that little bit right there breaks it down a little bit. But I'm going to put it in this cold water here to stop that, okay? We're going to stop the cooking process here in this cold water. And when we come back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we dry off the spinach using a pretty cool technique that I learned back at the Brighton Bar and Grill in Brighton, Michigan. So we'll be back right as soon as the spinach is done blanching. Okay, so I've got my water. I've blanched it effectively. I've blanched my spinach here. I've got it in ice water bath here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spider. I think it's called the spider. And I'm going to do my best here to just kind of shake it dry as much as possible. Might lose a leaf or two, that's okay. Don't want to do that, but it's going to be fine no matter what happens. And then I put it on a clean towel here. The clean towel, what you do, we're just kind of, if you ever made a burrito before, this is really not a burrito, but it's kind of similar to that situation. What I'm going to do here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of roll this up. Effectively, our towel is going to act kind of like a sponge. You can see all the water coming out of the spinach. You know. you don't got to get it bone dry. It's what we call that. Remember, bone dry is actually an actual term that we use in chemistry, which means zero moisture. You don't need to get it that like that. I can show you what we got now. And this, if you've ever seen it before, is a little bit more reminiscent of a package of frozen spinach. So what we'll do with this is we'll chop this up when we start doing our other vegetables. So what we're going to do now is I'll meet you over by the cutting board. We're gonna dice up our onion. We're gonna French our onion. We're gonna chop up our water chestnuts and chop up the spinach, and then combine everything together, and then we'll put it together for everyone. So stick with us. Thank you very much. All right, so I'm going to French an onion. We've done this on the show before, but I just want to kind of go back over it. So what I'm doing, I'm going to make some vertical cuts, probably at an angle, kind of radiating from a point that's a little below the surface of the onion. So if you can picture like the center of the onion being about right there at the bottom of this of the table, or the top of the table, that's where I'm going to try to picture the radius of the onion. I'm going to come through here. And research does show that it's also really good to make a horizontal cut like this. And now that I've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through and I'm going to make vertical cuts, but at a 90-degree angle. And I'm going to do these pretty small because I want really small onion pieces. And there you go. You just go in here. Toward the back, it becomes kind of hairy. So I'll just kind of come through with another, just like that. You can see we've got really fine onion pieces here. When we come back, I'm going to show you how I'm going to take care of our water chestnuts and our spinach. Okay, so for our spinach here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do I'm going to chop it like this. And what I'll probably do afterwards is I'll rotate 90 degrees and do another chop. Just to kind of, I don't want it to be so fine that it's like powder, but I do want it to be, I don't want it to, like, if I'm going in there with a chip or something like that, if I'm going in with a chip, I don't want to, like, drag out a mile-long piece of spinach. You know what I mean? So I think this is pretty good. You can see how green it is. It's really quite green. So what we're going to do next is I've got a can here of water chestnuts, okay? Water chestnuts are an integral piece of this recipe. And just like just to give you a take, because a lot of us probably haven't had water chestnuts. If you ever get Chinese takeout, it's pretty prevalent there. But yeah, this is really quite good. They taste a lot like water. So we could do a very fine dice like that. What I'll probably just do here for an application like this is I just do a rough chop. I put my other hand on here. I don't want to, for safety's sake, just do a very slow, rough chop. And then come back, kind of turn everything, and we just do it again. And before you know it, we've got all of our water chestnuts chopped up. And these really seem to be a really nice platform to kind of soak up any other kind of flavor. So I'm really excited to put these into play here. So what we're going to do now is I am going to grab another bowl, and I'm going to find a suitable bowl to make our our spinach dip, and we'll put it together. And then shortly after that, we'll put it into a presentation form. Okay. So thank you very much. All right. So let's talk assembly here. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to add my mayonnaise. Then I'm going to add my sour cream. Put that in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my Knorr vegetable mix. And once again, thank you to Knorr for sponsoring today's episode. Oh, what a delicious mixture it is, too. We're going to pop that in there. Really what you would do this is make a vegetable soup, but that's another episode altogether. And then I'm going to take a whisk, and I'm just going to make sure everything gets really well combined here. I want this to be a very homogeneous, well, it won't be homogeneous necessarily, but I want it to be as evenly mixed as possible. Okay? That way when I start to add the chunkier stuff, everything will have a fair shot of being with something else here. Okay, this is pretty good. So now what I'm going to do, I've got it all on one plate here. I've got my onions, my water chestnuts, and my spinach. We're just going to dump it all in, as careful as possible here. And really see how this works. Okay, starting to look like a spinach dip there, isn't it? Oh yeah. Just want to make sure everything, all the sauce is with something, all the vegetables are with something. Oh yeah, very good. Okay, so gotta get it all out of the list. So if you look at the recipe from my grandmother, Mama, or the Knorr vegetable, package, it does say to let it chill. So we're gonna let it chill for about an hour or so, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what we do with it. We're gonna do something kind of special with this particular dish for presentation purposes. And thank you very much. All right, so let's see how our spinach dip tastes. I got some chips here. You know what though? I think it'd be kind of fun to do a better presentation with it. So what I did, I went back and watched a previous episode of the Mr. Sam's Cooking Show and learned how to make some no-knead bread, which is what I did here. I've got a loaf here that I made, and we're going to take a serrated knife, and we're going to carve it out here. Just like so. There you go. All right, whoop, daisy. That right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill our bread bowl here with some delicious spinach dip. I gotta tell you, it smells, just the smell of it, I'm not sure what exactly it is. Knorr vegetable recipe mix. Maybe it's, I don't know what it is. Knorr vegetable recipe mix. Take that bread there. Wow. I'm really taken back to thinking about it's so funny how food can do this, because I haven't had this recipe in so long. But food can really make you think about the past a lot. And I can't help but think about my grandmother, Patricia Wetzel. She was an amazing woman, I have to say. She was a great golfer, and she was an amazing painter as well. And what we'll do right now is we'll take a second here. I'll put up just some of her paintings that she did. She did some amazing paintings here, and I'm just so thankful that she was part of my life. And we get to celebrate her with this recipe. And I know that the big game is coming up. I'm not allowed to say Super Bowl on this show due to copyright infringement, but I will say the big game. And Too bad the Lions aren't playing this year. I know they would have done real well in that Super Bowl. But I thank everyone so much for being with us today, and I hope that you get a chance to try out some of my grandmother's spinach dip. It's a delicious recipe. And if you have an idea for the show, if you have a recipe that you'd like to see featured on the show, please let me know in the comments or an email or whatever, and we'll make sure that happens, okay? So thank you so much, and have a great day.
When the deep